Rayclast is a nation divided. But this isn't a lore video. We're here to talk about people's strong opinions on the internet. Surely I won't get any hate comments for this one. So, what qualifies me to even have an opinion on anything? Nothing. I'm a guy on the internet. Get used to it. But I'm making this video because I'm invested. I really like this genre. I used to not, funny enough, I used to not like ARPGs and isometric style games when I was younger. I did play Diablo 2 because the girl next door, I had a crush on her. She was an older girl, and she liked to play it. But other than that, I didn't really play a lot of ARPG games for a while. But the last like 5 or so years, I've like really gotten into it. Grim Dawn was, I think, the game that kind of like really, which I also got into late, but I started playing it. I was like, this is cool. I really like this. Path of Exile 1, played that for a while. Last Epoch I explored. I played a lot of Diablo 4, I'll admit it. Again, I prefer the more complex stuff you get from every other ARPG in the genre. But Diablo 4 has its place. And it's not like, you know, it's not completely worthless. And I think it's a great, maybe intro for someone who's never played many games at all, let alone ARPGs. So D4 has a place in the world. But I'm very excited. It's become one of my favorite genres. I really like spending time in it. I finally convinced my brother to play PoE 2, and he's having a blast. He doesn't usually like ARPGs either. So I'm excited. That's why I'm making these videos. That's why I'm trying to get involved. But yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time to be an ARPG gamer. So here I am. Before we go any further, I just need to take a second here to thank the sponsor for today's video, which is the paycheck from my day job. Can't do this full time, unfortunately. I do need to make money, but I'd like to get there someday. In the meantime, my paycheck subsidizes all of my hobbies, and I'm also using it to give back a little bit. I'm going to be doing 2 Path of Exile 2 early access key giveaways. One is going to be in my Discord server, the Discord channel here. The other one's just going to be in Twitch chat. If you follow me and I hit a certain number of followers, I'm going to be giving away a key. So hope to see you guys there. Have fun in chat, have fun in the Discord, but if not, enjoy the video. Thanks. Some disclosure here, my stance on the game, I think it rocks. I'm a huge fan. I'm loving Path of Exile 2. I've been playing 2 characters, one solo, playing a witch, and then I'm also playing a mercenary in a duo playthrough with my wife. Suck it, nerds. And it's gonna be interesting diving into this because I really was not expecting this level of division among the community. Everyone was pretty much extremely excited for this going in, and it's very interesting because I've found that you've got people who are longtime lovers of the genre, or specifically of Path of Exile 1, who have gone into this and are now very unhappy with the game. And then you also have people who have been longtime haters of ARPGs as a whole, who are now actually calling this a phenomenal game that they're excited to play and having a blast with, like my brother, for example. Now, I can already hear you asking, Nova, what could possibly have these people so divided? The game's good, right? I think it is. But unfortunately, there are a few points of contention. First and foremost, you have those who consider the game to be too difficult. Now, unfortunately, I don't think there's much helping these people. They're just bad. That's all there is to it. It's really not that bad. The game's not that hard. It's challenging. It's got challenge, absolutely. If you're looking for a game that you can't lose, sure, you maybe give this one a pass. But I'm playing the game with my wife. She's having a great time. She doesn't like losing. She doesn't like losing when she plays games. She's still enjoying the game. So we're playing a duo, so it's a little bit easier, but we're doing a lot better than I was even hoping for. So the game's good. It's not hard. It's good. It's got a challenge to it. The only people who think it's too difficult, in my humble opinion, are people who just don't have any business playing this game. Just go play something easier. It's not a big deal. But of course, you can't tell people just play something else. They never like to hear that. They always want to be playing the new hotness, right? The new hotness has to appeal to me. It has to. If it doesn't appeal to me, it's not good. So ignoring the folks who just need to get good, what other kinds of things are controversial and divisive in the Path of Exile 2 community? Well, you got people who are bringing up some valid complaints for things like balance around skills, things like currency, gear drops, the fact that you can explore a whole map, find a chest, open it up, and only have nothing inside except, I guess, a little bird that flies away. Congratulations, you've saved a bird. Those kinds of things are good to bring up as long as you do so constructively. And just remember, the game's in early access. There's no need to go, doomer mode on these things. Always happy to have people bring up what they have complaints about, as long as they do so in a way that makes sense. But it's Twitter a lot of the time that I'm looking at, and That's not what I see. Another thing I'm seeing a lot of people complain about, and this one kind of sets me off a little bit. All of the people complaining about the launch, the worst launch in a game they've ever seen, from a arguably AA studio that had they came out before the game even released saying more people are here than we expected. We're doing everything we can, and they had a rough one night. Ever since that first night, I haven't had a single issue playing the game. There was about an hour last night where I was playing with my wife where we couldn't teleport back to town. That's it. That's the only issue we've come across in the entire time. And I've been playing this game quite a bit as it stands. I have got, let me see, I'm going to take a look. I've currently got 19 hours played, which again, I know, again, not a lot by most content creator standards. Unfortunately, I've been, again, day job. So again, 19 hours played, and I have had the first night, which again, only that wasn't even really on there because I gave up after about an hour of just chilling, waiting to try to get in. And then we had an hour last night. So of those, we'll say 20 hours, I have had 2 hours that I had any issue. And I know a lot of people who had a similar experience, but you have people out here saying the game is dog shit because they couldn't log in the second it launched when a million other people were trying to get onto the game. And I don't mean that hyperbolically. It was like a million people. It's insane. These people really need to just go get help. There are people who have no clue what they're talking about, no idea how any of this works, not only from a technical perspective, but from a business perspective. Do you know how much thought has to go into what kind of money they're going to spend on their back end? They don't want to overspend to eat into their profit to have just in case, they don't have just in case money. They don't have just in case infrastructure. That's what people expect from and it's across the board. This is what people want. Doesn't matter if they're AAA, AA, indie, they always want just in case infrastructure. And guess what? For various reasons, you're never going to get that. At the AAA level, they're not going to waste their money because in their mind, especially for the publishers, it doesn't matter if our launch day or launch weekend is rough, people will come back. We have the good IPs. And then at the AA level or the below, they're like, well, we just can't afford to be wasting money having extra servers that aren't getting used. We have to try to hit that sweet spot. And invariably, that leads to a rocky launch. It just happens. The fact that after one night, everyone was able to get in without much issue, to me, that's a successful early access launch. I don't understand the people who can't wrap their head around this. And this is not me simping for a company. This is me being realistic. Would I prefer it that we never had any issue and we always were able to get into the game and never had any kind of rocky launches? Of course I would. Do I think that it's maybe a bit wrong for the AAA guys to say, well, we're planning on making billions off of this game. We can't make 99% of that or whatever. That's not the argument I'm trying to make. I'm not even really having that discussion. I'm just talking about it from a realistic perspective, from the perspective of somebody who knows back-end infrastructure, from the perspective of somebody who understands the business decisions. I can't wrap my head around these, frankly, children who are always complaining every time a game isn't available immediately. Yeah, can it suck sometimes if you take PTO for a game and then you can't get in right away? Sure, but you should know that's a risk. There's a certain level of expectation that you are going to be an adult about this and understand that it's a risk. It's a gamble. I'm gambling my PTO to maybe be able to play at launch, and maybe I won't. Who knows? Me, I do it all the time. I always take PTO for games I'm excited about to launch, even when I know the first night, the first 2 nights, the first weekend is probably going to be really rough. Why do I do it? Because I love doing it. I do. I love it. But I don't sit on Twitter complaining and bitching the entire time. See, I told you, this sets me off. So this is another reason that the entire community is divided, but it's unbelievable. So one of the things that's really dividing the community as well that I want to talk about that I think is actually kind of interesting and worth bringing up, if you look at the divide, it kind of falls along a line. It's very interesting. Content creators tend to like it more. Non-content creators tend to not tend to like it less, but the people who like it less tend to not be content creators, I should say that way. And it's interesting and worth bringing up because there's merit to the idea of a game that's catering towards content creators is a game that's going to alienate normal players. And you see that a lot with things like competitive FPS games, PvP games, right? Because games that are designed to be better for a streamer to use to create content They will. They tend to have features that are less good for your average guy who's only playing, a couple hours a week, right? And so I kind of feel like that maybe is going to end up getting addressed at some point, again, on the Twitterverse, the X-verse, sorry. But I think in this case, it's actually interesting because the content creators for Path of Exile are people who are like deeply ingrained in the ARPG genre, sorry, the Diablo-like genre. And so they're, their opinions on it are more valid than you might have otherwise, right? If a new battle royale game comes out and all the content creators love it and all the regular players hate it, that's going to be a problem because all the regular players are going to stop, and then all the content creators are no longer going to have people to farm content off of. But in this case, it's not really what's going on here. The ability for people to enjoy it is kind of irrespective of whether or not they use it to make content. And rather than a competitive nature, content creators and regular players have a more symbiotic relationship. A lot of the content creators make build guides. They talk about, all sorts of stuff, lore, whatever. So there's less of an adversarial relationship. So I would like to think that while this divide that I have noticed is there, and it is along this line very cleanly, I think that you will find it's not as negative for the game as it might be in other genres. And not for nothing, the Path of Exile 2 content creators seem to be players first, creators second. I think it's a little bit different here.
Sup, y'all? It's me. It's your boy Asmongold. And today we have a very new game. A very old game, a very game that I have never played on my main stream before. I'm going to do something different today. And I'm going to play Path of Exile today. So this game is extremely complex. This right here is my talent tree. And I already have all these talents right here. And I'm moving over to getting this talent right here. Devotion.
Look at the chat, dude. Look at the chat. What the fuck?
What the fuck, dude?
So I'm looking to sum up this video. What's the point? What am I talking about? Why am I bringing this up? And honestly, I was kind of struggling with how to word this, and I stumbled across a clip this morning. You can see it's not quite morning, but I've been working on this all morning. And it really, honestly, perfectly helps segue into exactly what it is I want to say with this video. So here, take a look. This is Josh Strife Hayes talking to Talkative Triceratops. Both great, by the way. Just listen to this.
I didn't realize many, many years ago how important it is to have someone with a vision leading a project, a focused leader who understands what they want, and they understand that they might not make everyone happy. Choices they make will alienate people, but you cannot make something that someone loves without also creating somebody who hates it. If you create something that everyone is just indifferent to, there's no love, there's no hate, there's no passion, there's no disparity, it's just kind of there. And I thought, that's the best way to make a game. You should make something that's kind of there. You should appeal to absolutely everyone. I didn't realize at the time that appealing to everyone appeals to no one.
I really didn't know how I was going to wrap this video up. I kind of lost track of it halfway through in case that wasn't obvious. But it was when I found this clip that I kind of realized that this is the perfect summation of everything I'm talking about here. You can't make a game that makes everyone happy and also make a good game. And so the fact that Path of Exile 2 is so controversial right now, to me, is the biggest indicator of future success, because this is a game where they have a clear vision, they have made the hard decisions, and they are pushing to have their vision be executed as effectively as possible. So for the people who like this vision, like myself, and like many others out there, this is a great sign, and this is going to be phenomenal. So the controversy, ironically, is great. If this game wasn't controversial, we wouldn't be talking about it because no one would really care about it. I had actually intended on adding an entire section about the Reddit and how negative it is, but then I realized that's kind of redundant and a waste of my time. I hate going on Reddit, so we're not going to do that. This is it. I'm wrapping up the video. I had a great time making this. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so putting out content is a challenge for me because nothing ever feels good enough. I'm forcing myself to do this like non-scripted, more casual thing. I want to see if it works, see if people vibe with it. But yeah, Path of Exile 2 is great. If you don't like it, get good or go home. That's all I got to say. Peace out, guys. Thanks a lot. Check out my Twitch stream and my Discord, doing giveaways. See ya. Like, comment, and subscribe.